It's a little tougher sprinting across from the West Gym today. Had to go through some drifts. So, let's see a couple notes here. I think it's important that when guys achieve something that you recognize it. Josh Alber got his 100th and 101st win this weekend. I think 20th wrestler in UNI history to be able to do that. So, obviously, his career's not done. Wants to get a whole bunch more, but just longevity of a career, staying, knock on wood, staying healthy, but just showing up to wrestle every single time. It's not easy to do in Division I wrestling, so I want to make sure we acknowledge that and recognize him, and tell him just keep that streak going. Might as well finish with about 14 to 15 more. Schwarm went to the top 10 in pins, 29 pins. It's good. Bonus points are huge. Bonus points are big for the team, but also just get our team started in the right way, being 25-pounder. So he's top 10, and I know he certainly wants to shrink that number throughout this next year plus. I want to thank everyone for coming out. Fun atmosphere, man. When you get guys on their backs, or you just have, I guess, some inspired wrestling, the fans appreciate it. And even though it was cold, one thing, it might be cold or sub-zero outside, but I can tell you it's always going to be nice and toasty in the West Gym. So, again, we appreciate those who came out. Look forward to being packed house. So we have one more dual meet at home, the 21st against Iowa State. Certainly want that place bursting at the seams, because we haven't had that yet this year. So we certainly want to do that to send our seniors out the right way, but also to welcome Iowa State to town the right way. I got a few duels in front of that. Oklahoma State this week. Talk a little bit about the weekend, but really you kind of turn the page pretty quick of getting to the next duel and get ready for Oklahoma State. We were able to get a couple guys back in the lineup that have been out for a little while. Paid more and Carter Isley. Good to have those guys back out there competing, see where they're at. I thought both guys had some really flashes of good wrestling. Sometimes you got to work yourself into shape a little bit being out there. You're not always going to be ideal and perfect and have it exactly the way you want it before you have to step out there. But both those guys did a great job. That Peyton did a great job of, hey, I'm going to go out there and I'm going to compete. I'm going to see where I'm at, and I'm going to compete my tail off for 420 seconds, and we'll see how it goes from there. Isley hit some really good attacks, rode hard, and got a pin on Friday. Some emotion from him. It was good to see that. Good to see a guy excited to be back out there and kind of remember how it feels to put the hammer on somebody and to go get a pin and get the crowd up on their feet and erupt a little bit and remember that, because sometimes you get away from it, you forget, and really enjoying those moments. A lot of work's put into those, a lot of preparations put into that time. So was happy to have those two guys back. As far as the weekend, Schwarm had a great weekend. Did a good job, beat a top 20 guy on Friday, and then a little bit of back and forth match on Sunday where he got put down really hard. So good job on that guy, putting him down, but even a better job for Schwarm to be on the recover. And got to a leg attack at the end of the first period, put him on his back. Then they were kind of back and forth. He was almost on his back. That guy had him on his back. I think there was about 20 points put up in the first, about 3.5 minutes of that match. So I think from a fan's perspective, it's pretty fun to watch that guys are just kind of letting it fly out there, and then able to secure the fall and get things rolling. Kind of get him rolling a little bit too, where you start to put that chain together. So it's multiple performances in a row, and his breast wrestling is certainly in front of him. Jack just got to continue to stay on his offense, trusted. I think he's wrestling a good pace, and we're going to continue to get him to improve his pace. He did a good job of getting off bottom. He'd been struggling a little bit getting off bottom, was able to get off bottom twice yesterday against Oklahoma. Guys pretty good on top. So some of the places that he's putting time in, he's getting better. Just got to be able to, in a split middle, be able to secure and make an adjustment there. And I think, you make one adjustment there, you wins the match. And in, he has a 2-0 weekend instead of a 1-1 weekends, but those are sometimes young guys, learning experiences, obviously getting out there. He's still a freshman, and he's continuing to get better. 41, 2 good wins, got his, 101st win, beat a top 10 guy. Demas is dangerous in some positions, upper body. Alber did a good job of staying out of some of those positions. They were certainly waiting on his slide by. He was able to score right at the end of the first, but thought Alber hit a couple really, really high-level attacks. Took a little bit of time to finish, but he stayed on the finish like a dog on a bone and got the finish, and then was able to ride him out about the last 50 seconds of that match and really close it out. So good win by him. Max putting points on the board. Love seeing Max put points on the board. Love seeing him turn guys because he's a hammer on top in the room and just turns guys all over the place. And that was something that I've been talking about. Hey, need to start turning guys out in competition. Time to start turning guys out there. And the guy from Oklahoma, throughout his whole kind of career of his wrestling, had a lot of struggles with that guy, and that's the worst he's ever beat him. So that's a good thing. That's a good thing for Max, something for him to certainly build off of. Going out and getting bonus points in both matches. Really good. Payton, 1-1, good to get him back out there. I'll say one thing about, Schoenfelter. Schoenfelter in this morning, working, getting better. He's ready for his opportunity if it comes again, and he's going to continue to push Payton. And that's important that you have guys that, even if they're not the guy, they're disappointed that they're not out there, that they have a bigger picture in mind, that they're still going to improve and get better and know their opportunity. If it doesn't come this week, it's going to come next week. If it doesn't come next week, it's going to come next month. And then if it doesn't come next month, it's going to come next year. So you got to continue to really stay focused on what you can control and continue to improve and get better and be relentless at that pursuit of trying to improve. So he's doing that right now. The things that we talk about as a team, and I'll tell you the things that we're talking about as a team, about kind of gritting up and toughen up and hustling through positions, that's what's happening out there in competition. So happy with how we're competing. Steyert, short match on Friday, short match on Sunday too. Being a hammer on top, and if anybody would have probably told you that Bryce Steyert's going to ride legs this whole year and he's going to be grinding guys to pieces on top and scoring all those kinds of points, I think people would probably be like, nah, I don't know. I've watched him wrestle before. I never saw that out of him, but, he's adding to his game. And really, really good job by him finding another way to score points, but just taking it out of guys. I mean, really just taking the life out of them. So good with him. Lujan, scoring points. Yesterday was an exciting match. I think people probably enjoy watching, when there's 20-plus points put on the board. I like it when it's kind of back and forth, but then it stops being back and forth. So it doesn't stay like, maybe it's back and forth for a period, or kind of there's a little bit back and forth, but then it just becomes us. Then it becomes, where it's one-sided. And that's where, he can get that out. I'll say that dude's dangerous. I mean, holy cow. He'll put you in some compromising positions. And I don't know if you saw Taylor got thrown. I don't think there's many guys that one could have got out of that like he did. The thing was, he get thrown on his head and everyone's like oohing and on, and the next thing you know, he gets right off his back and right to reversal. So he kept wrestling through it, and that's, we talk about, even if something happens, you get thrown to your back, you get taken down, continue to wrestle right out of it. And he exemplified that. That's what we want to see happen, and he did it. So good for Taylor. Yant, stay in the offense. That was a big thing on Friday night. We gave him an opportunity. Drew, just got to get him fresh. So there's nothing physically wrong. You saw him yesterday, but some guys are workhorses, and some of them are a little bit more of a quarter horse. And sometimes when you got a quarter horse, you give him a little bit of more time. And and he was good with it. That's the thing, is that he's a senior, and you want to go out there and wrestle, I'll let you wrestle. We think it'd be good for you to. It's okay if you take Friday off, and we get you ready for the stretch run. And he was good with that. But Drew's hitting incredible attacks. Love how he's competing. I'll tell you, Tyrell, man, the breakthrough's going to come. He's just got to continue to trust it. He's got to embrace even though you're losing right now, there's still growth happening. You can't replace being out there in front of the lights. You can't replace this experience that he's getting right now. I mean, I know obviously he wants results to come right away, but results aren't an instant thing. And that's one thing great about the sport is it's not instant. There's not a whole lot of maybe instant gratification as far as wins, but like I was talking about with Pat a little bit, just your time's going to come. So keep swinging until that rock breaks. And Tyrell's going to continue to do it. Got to remember he is a true freshman. So he's learning on the fly right now. And now the big thing for him and that we continue to say is just go out and continue to make improvements, give yourself an opportunity to win those matches. I'll give that guy credit. Yesterday he kept attacking him. And Tyrell made it really hard for him to score on him, but I mean that guy kept attacking him and was able to get a takedown and then get a stall call. But I know he's only going to continue to improve and get better. He's just got to continue to embrace what we talked about when we brought him out of redshirt. Is I'm so excited just for how much I'm going to grow, how much I'm going to get better, the experience that I'm going to get, and not get so caught up into the wins and losses, but look at the big picture of I'm still growing and competing, and his best days are going to come too. I'm telling you, that weight class is probably the deepest weight class maybe in the Big 12 right now. Looking at the first rankings, there may be 9 guys that qualify at that weight. So he's gonna have an opportunity to put himself in that tournament. I know it, and it's not like he's getting blown out of the water by these guys, but being able for him to go get an attack, and that's something these next 7 weeks that going to continue to improve and work on, and he'll start making that adjustment and start getting to him. So and Isley competed well. I'm excited for our team. Certainly this is when you want to kind of start to be hitting your stride. And we went through a pretty tough stretch. And so we got some tough individuals where I think we had 6 weigh-ins in about 17 days and had a travel, a late night, a travel. We get back late. Next week we have a short week. We travel again. And then, got home for 3. But if guys were a little bit tired, it's to be expected with the schedule that we had. And you know what? You still got to be able to battle through it. You still got to be able to control what you can and go out there and compete in a certain way. And I thought guys did that. And I thought they did it well. And we're only going to continue to gain steam throughout the rest of this season. Got a big opportunity this weekend with Oklahoma State. The highest ranked team, obviously, in the Big 12. And up and down the lineup, they are solid. Got a top 5 guy at 25, 33, 41, maybe top 12. The 49-pounder that they had that was an All-American last year is hurt, just got hurt again yesterday. They had another guy that stepped up from 41 to 49 that's in the top 5. 57, 65, don't know if the 65-pounder is going to be back. 74, he's in the top 5. Top 10 at 84, top 10 at 97, top 5 at maybe top 2 or 3 at heavyweight. So, up and down lineup, it's a really good team. But that's a type of team that we're going to have to be able to beat. I mean, those are the type of teams, if you want to be one of the best teams in the country, you got to be able to beat the best teams in the country. So we get an opportunity this week. I know that they'll be ready to compete up and down that lineup, and I know that we'll be ready too. So we look forward to the opportunity going down to Gallagher for the second year in a row. But other than that, I know that we'll be prepared and ready, and be ready to scrap for 420 seconds every single match.